well, making a little bit of progress. I've been sanding this body down. I'm not trying to go down to bare metal, but I'm trying to sand it so that it's, you know, all the clear coat is off and it's smooth and ready to, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to put a coat of primer on it. I probably will. But today I got my defroster heater tubes, and this, I have to be honest, this was a fairly frustrating job because the top here is basically an inch fitting, inch to an inch and a quarter. So I got a fitting which goes from an inch and a half to an inch and a quarter, and I put it on here. And then the inch and a half was too wide. It was like an inch and a half inner diameter, and I have an inch and a half inner diameter hose, so it wouldn't go on. So I cut it off, put on a wrap or two of Gorilla Tape on the inch and a quarter, and put the inch and a half inner diameter tube on it and tighten it down with a clamp, and it seems to work great. So that one on that side, this one on this side. But the real frustration was that when I got it down into here where it clamps in to the heater channel, I just could not get it to go in no matter what I did. So I basically had to destroy the insides. Well, this one was already destroyed. I was going to have to fix this one anyway. But I bent it in, and I kind of had to mangle it. I got the clamp on there nicely, and now I really have to repair that. The other side is worse. Basically, I had already repaired this, which looks ugly, but I got to sand it all down on this side, so you can see that one over there. On this side here, this was really pretty ugly because I cut this, then I wound up making a slit in the heater tube, a heater channel, but I'll just weld repair that. And this, I cut this, and I know that this is a little bit of a double here. I didn't cut the deeper one that holds the weight of the door and everything, but I cut the sheet metal and bent it in, and I'm just gonna have to bend that back. And I didn't have a choice because I could not get that tube on there, and I've already welded on these guys, so just doing it in the wrong order caused me a lot of pain. But as I said, this sheet metal, this is sort of my final repair here. I've got to do that side and this side. I'm going to do a little something here on the fronts where it meets the heater tube there, and a little something there on the back where it meets the heater tube there. Just put a little fold of metal, and then I may cover it with some more of this goop since nobody will ever see it. And on this side over here, same thing. There's a gap there. But, you know, this back area, that came out okay with the fiberglass. It's all gonna be covered, so nobody's ever gonna see it. And you just want it to be solid and not decaying. So up here I started sanding the roof and you know, this front area, so you can see all the sanding stuff. It's just taking off the clear coat and getting down to a surface that's gonna hold that paint real well. And I sanded this whole back area here, and I sanded the grate here, and I have this special little tool. I have to make it a little more narrow, but it's a Scotch-Brite that I'm gonna go through here, and I'm just gonna clean that whole thing up. And then I ordered some spray paint straws, so that puts a new nozzle on the spray paint with a little straw. Once I clean this all up, I'm gonna look and see if I have any rust. Looks like there's definitely a little bit of rust in there. I'll try to get out what I can, and then I'm going to try to you know, spray in there a little bit of rust reformer, let that dry, and then I'm going to spray that whole inside with Lotus White. And I know it's going to be ugly and drippy, but nobody's going to care because it's inside of this venti area. But next step right now, I'm not going to do the Scotch-Briting right now. Next step right now is just to repair. Now that I've got I'll tell you, that was a royal pain in the ass to get these defroster tubes in there, but I'm happy with the outcome because that's going to work great. The only thing I have to make absolutely certain of is when I'm welding in my repair here, that I don't allow a bunch of stray weld metal to like ruin this tube. So I've gotta be a little cautious, but I'm gonna, I'll cut out a nice patch here and then another patch here with the step for the for how this door jamb goes. But that's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4 metal repairs just for these 2 pillars, 2 metal repairs for the front where that meets, 2 metal repairs for the back there, and then I can, I believe, call the metal work more or less done. So that will be an accomplishment, and then I can just proceed with, this is just roughed in terms of the fiberglass. I did prime this front area here. So I primed this, and I may hit that with some wet sandpaper because I had ground this down and it is not particularly flat now. I used my grinder sander instead of my orbital sander, so that was probably a bad idea. But I should be able to kind of sand this down. This is a little gummed up, but again, this is going to take the seal, which I've ordered. Those are on the way. The seals for the front hood and the back deck lid are on the way, including the seals for the engine compartment, firewall, and here. So if I can get the hood area and this engine compartment kind of in shape by the time those seals arrive, then I should be able to kind of start getting that all fixed up and ready. Okay, that isn't my progress. It's still messy, but I probably have another week of extreme messiness in terms of sanding and everything. Get the paint and all that dusty overspray out of there. I think this is where the 2 little rubber things go that stop the deck lid, so I ordered those, and we're gonna see if they fit in these holes. It's always nice to have all the little rubber grommets and everything that you need. Started sanding this down so you can see where there's going to be some rust reformer. Just, there's junk back here, but again, nobody will ever see that. But I just want to get it cleaned out and painted. And I don't know if I should do a little metal repair on this here but that'll have the seal, so if I probably bend that in place, it'll probably be okay. Okay, well, to go around this with a fine-tooth comb, it looks better than it did, so.